right now we have our leadership team members and they also have a whole lot of questions for you. So without further ado, without wasting any time, I'm going to quickly request Mr. Sivaramakrishnan, our CTO, to go ahead, unmute his mic and go ahead with this question.
Hi, MS, Bravo and Robin. So my first question is to MS. Like in the corporate world, even in cricket, team members require skills and attitude as main ingredients to make a very good team. How do you as a leader prioritize which is important when you select your team members?
You said skill and
attitude or will, skill and attitude. Yeah.
I think basically what we are saying is the talent aspect and the commitment aspect. So if I have to use two different words, I would say talent and commitment. Of course, we all realize one thing, whether it's us as cricketers or you guys who are part of a corporate culture, without talent, you can't be part of the team. There's a specific requirement when it comes to a job profile. And I feel once you get selected, it means you have that talent. Yes, some people are slightly more talented than others. But what I like is, the commitment aspect, because even if the talent aspect is slightly less, but the commitment is very high, then I've always felt that the person is more eager to learn. He's more aware of whatever is happening in the surrounding. And it's like an investment. So once you invest in those kind of people, your long-term benefits are very high. So that is something that, we try to groom individuals that way. I know in the corporate world, there may be at times, you feel as if, okay, we are grooming him, but he may not be with us in the next 2 years, 3 years or 5 years time. But I always felt still the approach needs to be the same. Till he's part of the company, he should give his 100%, utilize the best talent he has, make the best of him. Yes, tomorrow he may move on to some other corporate industry, but he will still remember, he'll remember that part where what really helped him grow as an individual. So I feel that that grooming period of any individual is very important. And similarly, when people come from some other culture, in the sense, some other corporate line, they will bring with them something that will be unique to where they have worked. So it's very important, even as a leader, to keep an eye as to how they are performing. Everybody, all of us, we have our strengths, we have our weaknesses. A lot of times we are so focused that, we don't look at a lot of new things. But somebody who coming from outside, he can actually teach you a lot. He may not be from the same industry also, but he may be doing something, that is applicable in our case. But it's just that, it never crosses our mind at that point of time. So I've always felt when it comes to talent and commitment, slightly less talent with a bit more commitment is more important than being very talented. But if the commitment part is missing, then the improvement of that individual takes more time, or sometimes the improvement doesn't really happen. But the less a guy with more commitment, he will improve over the period of time, and he may go to the next stage. He may take that fourth leap forward. And, in a couple of years' time, you may have someone who's completely different to how he started. So I rate commitment highly, more highly compared to the talent part.
Very nice. Very nice. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And my next question is to Ryan and Robin. What do you see in a leader?
You go first, bro. You go.
You have to unmute, yeah.
Leadership, I think when it comes to leadership, I'm a big believer of a leader also must be able to accept the fact that he also can be led. And, how he embraces other people, how he tries to create an environment for and accept everyone that is different. So all these different things will define a good leader that everyone will follow. So you don't want to be in an environment in a workplace or in a game, in a sporting team, where a leader is all about himself and not worried much about others. So I think the key for a good leader is a leader who is happy to be led and take advice also, and accept responsibility, protect his players, protect his colleagues. All these are good signs of a good leader.
So I think there's not much I can add to that, but I think a good leader is someone who is willing to meet and accept people where they are and help them better themselves to get where the team requires them to be. And for me, I think that the sense of acceptance and meeting people where they are and helping them grow makes an exceptional leader. And I think that's probably the only thing I would add to what PJ's already shared.
Thank you. Thank you. So nice.
Thank you so much, Srivastava, for your question. Before we move on to the next question, I just want to quickly let our leadership team members know that we're running short of time. So if you can keep your questions a little quick, that'll be great. Up next, we have Mr. TK Ravi, Group Strategy Head, and he has a question for our Chennai Super Kings. So if you can unmute your mic and go ahead with your question.
So good evening, MS, Robin, and Bravo. So here's a related question on performance management. So you seem to give a long rope to people who have hit a low, right? And it seems to be paying off. So what's your decision in terms of the threshold? And what would be, how would you mentor someone who can be dropped?
Well, I think it's a very difficult one to answer because you can't quantitatively put a number as to how much someone. A lot of times, like more often than not, you back individual. But what also happens in a team sport is a few extra games are given by the team. For example, let's say your middle order is not batting very well. So one batsman is not scoring the number of runs he should, but the team is winning. So what happens is you give him 3 games, 4 games, but still, if he has not performed because the team is winning, you can afford to give him another couple of games. So that is something where you get your allotted number of games, but those extra 2 or 3 games are given by the team because they are playing well. Now, if you look at a different scenario, your middle order, let's say 3 of the batsmen are not scoring runs. So then if you say your normal allotment is you give them 4 games. Since the 3 middle order batsmen are not performing, you have to decide, no, somebody will have to go. Because at the end of the day, the team can't suffer. And if there's somebody who is in the ranks who can fill that job position, so you have to make that change. So one of the 3 would be the unfortunate person, but at the end of the day, you want the team to succeed. So these are the 2 scenarios. And if the team keeps doing well, you get a slightly longer rope. If the team is not doing well and there are few of you who are not performing, then one of you has to make way for somebody who's sitting outside, because that's what is the demand of the game. We try to tell individuals, but I've always felt it's one of the most difficult things, because as humans, we start comparing, why me? Why not him? I scored 10 runs. He scored 9 runs. So it becomes those petty things, I scored 1 run more than the other person. So that's why what is important is to have that culture in the atmosphere where they accept it and they say, okay, if I am dropped, there has to be a reason. And, it's good only decision for the team. Because if you don't have it when it's not needed, the culture needs to be there right from the start. So you keep working on the culture so that when a tough scenario like this comes up, we are all aligned and we are all moving in the same direction.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ravi sir, for your question. We now move on to our CFO, Mr. Rajagopalan. Sir, please unmute your mic and go ahead with your question.
Yeah. Good evening to us, Robin and Bravo, and to all my colleagues. My question to MS: there have been plenty of instances when you may not have the desired talent on the ground owing to injuries or non-availability. How do you manage and utilize the available resources, even though they may not be optimal from your point of view?
I always believe that we should look to control the controllables, and that has really helped me. if somebody is injured, not available, or whatever the reason may be, I know the people who can have an impact are the 11 people who walk into the field. And those are the ones I really need to concentrate upon, because I may have the world's best player, but who's not part of the 11 is definitely not having any impact on the game. And rather than wasting my time and effort thinking, oh, he should have been there, then the result would have been different. What I'm really doing is, again, I'm becoming result oriented, and I'm thinking about something that is not having any impact on the game. So I always try to stay away from all these thought processes. So I know, okay, these are the 11 players who are walking in, how I can make the most of what I have, even if it's an inferior team. Even if the composition is not very balanced, I still need to find a way to make the most of it. We may end up losing the game, but at the end of the game, if I accept the result and if I say, yes, we tried our best with the 11, I'm happy with that, because winning and losing is part and parcel of any sport. And what is important is to go out there and put a fight. And a lot of times, when we talk to the youngsters about being aggressive doesn't always mean being on the face. It can be an aggression that is in your heart, where you want to win, you're doing everything. The world doesn't need to see you screaming on the field or yelling at the opposition or doing other things. You can just be calm, composed, minding your own business, and that's another way of being aggressive on the field.
Thank you. That was impressive.
Thank you so much, sir, for your question. We now move on to Mr. Balaji, the head of TVS Sensing Solutions. So you have to unmute your mic, sir.
Happy evening, Dhoni, Bravo, and Robin. My question is, over the years, we have witnessed a lot of comebacks by the CSK as individuals and as a team. It has come to an extent that the C in CSK stand for comebacks. You say it and you do it. What happens in between? How do you handle the pressure of expectation?
The C in CSK will always stand for Chennai. So, yes, we have had a lot of comebacks. I agree. But again, as I said, when there's not a lot of pressure on the team, we are making the team to face that situation. We are creating a culture in the environment where, when the going gets tough, you want the individuals to rise to the occasion, take that responsibility, and go out on the field and give whatever they have got, because that's the most we can do. That's the only control we can do. That's the controllable thing that we can control. So it is something that keeps happening in the background, and the results get shown once the going is not in our favor. So it has really helped us, and I feel that's where a lot of credit needs to go to the support staff and also the senior players. Players like Bravo have been playing for like 30 years now, if I'm not wrong. Bravo, you're 30. So I feel senior players, their contribution is really important. You have a squad of 25 players. They're youngsters. They're people like players of different age group. So everybody, talks to everyone, and we share our experience as to how you can improve, how situations can be tough, what to do different scenarios. And one thing I always keep telling the youngsters, when we were growing up, teachers told us, "Oh, you learn from your mistake." I improvised it. I said, you can learn from others' mistake. Nobody can stop you from learning. So if somebody else is committing a mistake, you can still learn out of it. It's not like you have to commit the same mistake, then only you will learn. So if you're aware of the environment, if you're aware of everything that is around you, you can learn from somebody else committing a mistake. And I feel that really helps, because that really helps. You don't wait for the mistake to happen. You're actually preempting it, and you're getting ready for what if you are in a similar scenario, you won't commit the same mistake.
Thank you. Love you guys.
So cute. Thank you so much, Mr. Balaji. We have a final question from Mr. Hariharan, Head of Quality. So you can go ahead, unmute your mic and ask your question. And I think we'd also like Robin to pitch in for this answer.
Yeah. So Mahi, DJ and Robin, this is Hari. So my questions to Robin is TVS Eurogrip and the turns both are very closely associated. Okay. So can you say something about your memories of unexpected turns in your life or career? I'm sure that will be a great learning lessons for a new aspiring cricketers and also for a brand like ours. So can you, Robbie?
Well, that's an interesting question. Well, I think life is all about unexpected turns, right? I think you need to have faith that everything will always work out for you in the end, and more often than not, it actually does. For me, I think something it was me just coming into the CSK franchise. So, given where my cricket was at that point in time, I was playing for RR, and I just come up from a lean season with KKR, and then came into RR, and then my time in RR wasn't that great as well. The team hadn't done well. I hadn't gotten a lot of opportunities, and then I actually was in a place where I thought, I don't know where my cricket's going to go. But cut to 6 months later, I was in the CSK franchise, and I was traded in. I think someone brought to my notice that I was possibly the first person traded for the CSK franchise. So for me, that turn was definitely unexpected. I was hoping it would happen because I would get to play with a lot of my old friends who have played up cricket growing up with. So that happened, and we ended up winning the tournament. So a lot of unexpected things happened, and it all turned out for the best. And I feel I'm in a place in my career where I feel my career is rejuvenated, and I'm looking to play for as long as possible. I'm really enjoying my cricket, and I'm in a franchise where there is a sense of security, there is a sense of belonging, and there's a sense from my side to do everything that I can do for my team to add value and contribute to the successes of the team. I believe that if you keep working hard and if you keep having the right intentions and putting out the right intentions out there and working hard, then good things will always happen, and unexpected turns will always turn out to happen for the best.
Thank you, Robbie. Great feedback. Thank you, Mahi and DJ. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your question. We'd like to thank all our leadership members for their great questions.